is amazing. I will never get sick of that.
It's so good. It's so good. Ladies and gentlemen, me, myself, but not just I, are here to talk the finale of What If. I am Doctor Strange, Taylor Field.
And I am Vegas, Kirklin Patzer.
And we are I just got a message that that someone is actually awake. He just has ignored his to be fair, you and me agreed to start at this time, so I don't
Yeah, no, we even gave him a buffer period.
We did. We gave him a buffer period. We're gonna hear all about it. We'll just talk and have a good time right now. We won't get anything just yet. We'll give him like a couple minutes.
It says we're scheduled. Are we actually live right now?
We're live, yeah.
But it says scheduled and it's counting down. Okay, there we go.
Scheduled.
It just switched over for me. It just said you are live.
Okay, good. Well, then we're right on time then. So it's all perfect.
It just popped up. We're live, but now it says we're been live for a minute 30. I don't know. Maybe it's a glitch in the system. Maybe the system was just waiting for Travis.
It very well could have been. Yeah, I'm sure we'll hear about it. You already told me how your night's going, but how's your night going again for the fans?
It is going amazing. I'm rocking my nice fancy headband. My face is all moisturized and clean. My teeth are clean, flossed, ready to go for the bedtimes. But I don't know if I'm gonna be able to sleep after this. That was such an incredible finale. I know we'll get into it when the episode really starts, but just overall, it's a good time. I got energy. It's 40 minutes into Wednesday.
It is, yeah, it definitely is.
And I'm just doing great. What about you, Taylor?
I'm doing really, really good. I'm super jazzed. I got a question for you. Do you floss in the morning and at night, or just at nights?
I don't. It was tough for me to get in the habit of flossing. I used to only really floss like if I felt food in my teeth. It would just be bugging me, so I'd do it. So like after a steak, something like that. But like now, especially because like I have a dentist appointment coming up, so now I'm like, okay, I got floss constantly because they're gonna be on my ass. But I generally will just do it because like if I do it at night, why do I have to do it right when I wake up? I haven't been eating anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, if there's any dentists in the chat, look at this, all in the game. Here before Travis. Excellent camera quality, running on time. Looks like a certain someone has been shown. I like that. Let's put that on the big screen.
Let's keep it up there, yeah.
On the game, it looks like you got a new photo. Can you discern what that is? I can't discern what that is.
The Wild?
The Wild, I don't know.
Something like
I don't know what that is. He'll probably let us know.
I'm not sure. Your flossing story, it reminded me of, I'm gonna pop open a meme here. I know you've seen it. It just reminds me of this, and this always makes me laugh when I see it.
Bro, you were there. Like actually, I think about saying that all the time. I mean, I guess now I'm a little bit better at flossing, but like legit, they would ask me that, and like I would always lie. Do you floss often? Yeah, when I can.
No, and they know, they can see in your mouth. They know you're bullshitting.
They're like working on my mouth. Yeah, just bleeding. It's like, okay, sir.
Like, what do you say?
All the time, though. They must get that all the time. Yeah, what am I gonna say? No, what's on over my time?
No, you're just bleeding out of your mouth. It's all over their gloves.
I'm in last stand on the ground. We got Fractured Wolf in the chat. So
everyone's popping in.
Great episode, fun stuff. Absolutely. Now, I missed the last episode. I've been pretty flaky actually with this what if. It's been like a what if Kirklin will show up. Funny enough, what if Travis will
yeah, what if he will?
This should have been the episode here, but has Fractured Wolf been here for everyone?
I would say he has,
yeah. Attaboy, Fractured Wolf.
Like, so Travis said, what the fuck, just starting without me, but he gave us no context as to like if he's coming or not. So I don't know what to make of this.
And now that we're live recording, we even were like, should we give him extra time? I was a savage. I'm like, fuck no, let's just get going. You waited till 35 minutes after midnight. We are now 42 minutes past midnight. We are live talking, just kind of filling some time for Travis, but I don't know.
It's not looking good.
Deduct some pay, maybe. Who knows?
Oh my gosh. Well, it's good to have everyone in the chat right now joining us on this fine evening.
Exactly. Would you consider this evening? Or is this like...
I guess I can't really. I mean, it's easily morning. All of the games just totally supporting you, Kirklin.
Yes, I appreciate it. Because I feel like this is still like night time. Yeah, midnight. It is still midnight, but like Technically, it's AM, which is what does that actually mean?
Uh
That's probably a quick Google.
I have no idea. While you Google that, I'm gonna jump to some plugs here.
Sure.
So check us out, homebase, GeekVerse.ca. Check us out social media, Twitter, GeekVerseCast, Facebook, GeekVerse Podcast. Now check us on the Facebook because we got our Halloween spooky poll that's popping off right now. We're on the third matchup, and it's going good because yesterday was a gong show on Facebook, a nightmare, so that was extended 24 hours. But Pamela Voorhees beat the Leprechaun, and now we're on the Nun versus the
Pamela,
Demogorgon.
whoa. Pamela Voorhees. I feel like I
Yeah.
haven't even seen this poll. I can't believe she
Go-
beat the leprechaun. Did she get
Go-
her head chopped off in like the very
She
first
did.
movie?
She did.
Oh
Jason
my
Voorhees won the
god.
last Halloween poll, so she's subbing in for him.
It
You
just
gotta
goes to
check it
show
out.
how terrible the leprechaun is. If leprechaun can't even beat
I'm
Jason
so
Voorhees'
choked
mom.
that Leprechaun didn't make it. I'm so upset
Yeah, I
about
bet
that.
you are.
Yeah, but yeah, right now it's the Nun versus the Demogorgon. The Nun is leading. Surprisingly, I don't think the Nun's that favorite
I should
of
drop my vote.
character. I was trying to
Um,
stir the pot though, because Travis voted the Demogorgon.
I
And Emily
saw
voted
that.
the Nun. Yeah,
I did see that. Okay, so I have some definition just to fill up.
Mm.
So AM technically means, and I'm probably going to say this wrong, but ante-meridium, which is a Latin
Good
phrase, which
lord.
means before noon. A little bit easier one though is PM, post-meridium, which is basically just after midday. So
I
it's
like
like
that.
it's just two terms help keep ambiguity at bay in the 12-hour time system. I don't really use the 12-hour time system. I like to be like all high fancy with my 24-hour time. But there you go. If you're a 12-hour system user, now you know what the AM PM means.
I'd love to just whip that on conversation. Like, I'll meet you at Walmart at 10 anti-meridium and just see their facial expression.
You might get some clueless looks.
Oh,
Like, I don't know what the
absolutely.
fuck that means. And none.
Anti-meridium, that's intense. Okay, you know what? Still no context. I feel like he's actually super just mad at us now, and he's like, you know what? Fuck those guys. I'm going to sleep.
I have a prediction that he actually completely passed out, and then he like woke up and he's just like shitting on us. So he's watching the episode right now. I think that's what's happening.
Oh man, he had to replay a little bit, a couple of scenes. This is like, I'm not even gonna say it because I don't want to talk about the episode because if we start talking about it, he's gonna come in and give a shit.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
So
it's
what
true.
do we do? We just jumped up to 4 viewers now.
Well, I wasn't here last week, so I could give my overall thoughts on that episode, I guess.
It's a brilliant idea. Let's do it.
Episode episode is What If Ultron Won? That's what we're reviewing today. Just kidding. Overall though, I thought that episode was phenomenal. I don't want to dive into too much of it actually, because I feel like some things I had issues with that episode would like be relevant in discussing this episode, mostly just how the Watcher got just fucked by Ultron. And I, of course, as you know, Taylor, I just watched this episode, like, or the Ultron episode right before this final episode. So I haven't had a chance to like listen to your guys' review or anything like that. Did you guys discuss like Ultron just getting like the better of the Watcher and like how easy it was?
We talked about it, yeah. Just because like the Watcher was like, again, you just see this being of infinite power, and he's just getting like wrecked, and then he Super Saiyans, and he still gets wrecked.
Yeah, and it's I feel like my hardest part in believing that, and like I get it, it's a TV show. Like I'm not gonna put too much thought into it. But my biggest like problem with it is like that scene that we got in Loki when they just like open like the drawer and there's just like tons of Infinity Stones there. And like, okay, they're I don't even know what the hell they're called. The TVA, is that what they're called?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like they're this interdimensional company, I guess. And like the Watcher's got to be on a way bigger level than them, right? And like, let's just say that the TVA has just this drawer full of Infinity Stones. I feel like the Watcher has like zero like weakness when it comes to Infinity Stones. So I feel like that was the hardest part for me to really buy into. Now, all in all, I didn't put too much like I don't know, like stake into it because at the end of the day, I'm just enjoying this episode and it is fun to just see Ultron just kicking ass because I really am not a big fan of the Ultron that we have and like the Sacred Timeline. But I don't know. I feel like that was the hardest part for me to like buy into, was just the fact that like, okay, we have Ultron, who is very, very strong, and he got all the stones, which is really, really awesome. But I feel like when it comes to him and the Watcher, like the Watcher is like literally like a god at this point, and I don't know. I don't know. It was a little tough for me to buy.
Hmm. So this kind of fractured rules question kind of goes in hand with that episode you just watched. Can Ultron not snap away existence since he's not technically alive? Which he could have done in his battle duking out with the Watcher, right?
Like, can he though? Like, I don't really know the full
Well, I
extent
don't
of what the
know.
power is. Exactly. That's a good question. Yeah, like, because I feel like I wouldn't have an issue with it if we didn't get that scene in Loki where it was just like a drawer full of Infinity Stones, and they just seem like a couple gems that are just irrelevant when you get into like the whole like like in between of like the multi-dimension realms and stuff like that. So I feel like maybe that's like my biggest issue with that is that Loki scene. I know like when that scene
Well,
did happen, there was some outroar on the internet, so people just like complaining on like
oh,
how,
there's always an uproar.
oh yeah, they're always an uproar.
To in defense of that, the whole, I mean, in that last episode, the Watcher was punched like into like multiple different universes. So in his defense, though, like using the stones to a degree, because most of their fighting took place, I would say, in between these universes, and the stones
Yeah,
don't work in that area because that's the same part, like the quantum realm, and that's the same
right,
part of like the TVA. Stones just don't work in those in between periods, right? At least that's how I understand it.
right. And like, isn't the Watchers like area like that's got to be on an even bigger like out of the realm area? No,
Yeah, I
TVA
would
exists
think
out of
so.
time, space, rendering the stones basically inert.
That's
But like, what's
exactly what I would think the Watcher's in an area
yeah,
like that.
exactly, exactly. That's I liked how we saw Ultron use multiple stones at once. I think I saw three activated at once, whereas Thanos generally had to focus on one time. Yeah, yeah, that was really cool to see. Just the different usages of. I also just love the armor. You guys probably talked about that. It very much reminiscence of like Ultimate Alliance 3, like
Mm.
Thane's armor, right? When he gets
Oh, they
like the Infinity
PTSD.
armor, essentially.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it is. So that was really cool to see. And him just murking Thanos like instantly like that. That was kind of funny to see. But all in all, I thought it was a fantastic penultimate episode, like minus my little like irk that I had, I guess, which is like like Ultron just being on like a bigger level than what the Watcher is, which in my eyes I feel like no one's really on the same level as the Watcher. But again, I'm not very well read on like all of the comics revolving the Watcher. I think even in the comics the Watcher does die at some point, so maybe I'm just speaking out of my ass here and I don't really know what I'm talking about, but
I got a question for you. So
absolutely.
Ultron just gutting Thanos in half, perfectly balanced either side. Uh, what do you think about why Vision didn't do that in the movie?
Um yeah, because he only had one stone, right? So it would have been like the same situation as Vision. Vision
Like,
never really had a chance to like fight Thanos though, I feel.
no,
Because like
he
the
was
whole
injured.
time they were just like trying to get the stone out of him so that they could like destroy it, which terrible plan in hindsight, but again, hindsight's 2020. Um I don't know. I feel like there's a reason they didn't write that in. For one, it would have just been like a boring movie. We wouldn't have got Endgame or anything like that, right? So that's like the easy answer. Um, but also, you could also just say like, well, these shows maybe just did it in a lazy way, just to get in like the next scene. Like, oh, how does Ultron get all of the stones? Let's just get him, fucking slice him right in half instantly.
Hmm.
And like again, it's a Disney Plus What If series, so I'm not going to put too much like stake into that. Like imagine if I got all of Infinity War. Maybe it didn't end with like Vision dying. Like Endgame starts and Vision just like slices him in half, even though he has like all the remaining stones minus the Mind Stone.
Hmm.
That would have been pretty lame. And again, like in a TV series like this, What If, you can kind of just get away with doing stuff like that because again, it just pushes you onto the next plot point.
Hmm. Absolutely.
Man, chat's just popping off.
Yeah,
Where's
everyone's
Travis Snell
just
so we can actually
salivating.
talk about the meat
Still
and potatoes?
no message. He just threw
Fell
shade
asleep
at
again.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm scared to be the one to message him because I feel like he's just gonna lash out, but he must have fallen asleep.
Oh, he must have. I guarantee he was watching the episode. I feel like we could just get into like the non-spoilery stuff, right?
He'll never forgive us.
He won't, but like he fell asleep. That's his own fault. Maybe since stones are different in every universe, Vision Stone wasn't as powerful as Ultron's. That's a good point too, because they actually make an emphasis of saying that in this episode, with like the Stone Crusher, which was a great detail.
That was
I'm
super
dipping my
fun.
toes into into getting this episode without Travis. I don't know, whatever helps us rest easy at night. Exactly. End of the day, that's all it is. Can't put too much stake in this. But like honestly, with how crazy this episode was, there was moments when I'm like, I felt like I had similar vibes to when I was watching like Endgame, and like I was in the theater and just like on the edge of my seat. Like this episode was so fucking crazy in that sense. Um, Yo, did Tony make the Stone Crusher?
We're not on the spoilers yet. We can't get into that.
Oh, you're baiting me, Fractured Wolf. You're baiting me. I'm biting.
Chat's getting
I'm biting at
rowdy.
the bit. I'm just too hyped on the episode.
Oh my gosh.
We'll make Travis go in and edit that out. Anything else to say on the last episode? I'm trying to remember where the last episode ended and this one began. I think it was just a really good cliffhanger. And again, I was so fortunate to watch this like literally 1 minute before the finale came out, because I don't know how you guys lasted a full week on just like waiting for this episode, because here he is.
I'm
Really?
scared. Oh, he's gonna just.
How are you scared? How are
I'm
you
scared.
Man
But
up,
I
Taylor.
in
Man up,
defense,
Taylor.
I did hold you off until he could arrive.
You were trying. I was like getting by you a little bit there, dropping some spoilery stuff. Really? Really? Oh, he's sipping. He's not even joining us here. Welcome. What if Travis Snell would show up?
Let's just get to the episode, you know?
Well, what you missed was we talked about our evenings and what's been going on. Some fun
there
back
you
and
go.
forth with the chat. Fractured Wolf all in the game. I basically gave my thoughts on last week's episode, and I was talking about how I didn't really like the Watcher just getting manhandled by Ultron. Let's get into it.
I don't got much
Episode?
to say. I talked about that last week already.
Yeah, I figured.
On that episode.
Wow, you're a tough talker for someone that makes
Oh,
us
yeah.
wait until almost an hour later, but whatever.
An hour later? An hour? Yeah. Taylor, have fun. You get to edit
Not
this
even
motherfucker
apology.
and cut the 17 minutes
Exactly.
beforehand, you know? So
Oh, I don't know. It's been a good time.
How are you so upset? You're the one that made
you
us
can
wait.
put it in the back half. No, because there'll be somebody, I tuned in this episode to hear this, and I heard about last week's episode, 1 star on all platforms.
Who are you?
There was
Travis
no
Snell, introduce
magic
yourself.
showing up on time, Fracture Wolf. There's no way. You want to talk about that? Here, look at this. We just did a newscast this Sunday, which I was like, yeah, I'll be there right at 12. And I had to start the cast without him. And he's be like, I'll be there 5 minutes, 25 minutes.
I gave
into the
context. I
newscast.
was telling you that I had cat shit on the floor and
did.
everything. I
He
gave
But then
context.
don't
You
commit to
vanished.
12.
Travis
Don't
Snell.
You were
commit to
gone.
12. Don't commit to the 12. You're like, oh yeah, just five more minutes, and then here I am, 25 minutes into a newscast. But me, yeah, okay, I see how it is, you know. So, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the What If season finale. My name is oh God, who knows what the fuck my name is? I am Travis Snail. Happy for the Midnight Nights to be over for a little bit until Hawkeye, which is only 24th around. So, you know, take a break from these fuckers over here. And I'm joined by...
I am Vegas, Kirklin Patzer.
Don't hold us up now.
I'm Doctor Strange, Taylor Field.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you go back and listen. We reviewed every single episode, a combination of all of us. Next week, probably on a newscast, we're going to do like a ranking of these episodes because there's a few episodes that, you know, all of us have not been on at least at one point. So we're going to do that. We got, me and Kirkland just did Venom. We got Bond retrospectives, Dexter retrospectives. No Time to Die is coming out. Just tons of stuff happening. DC fandom's happening. We're going to stream about that all day. If you look in the feed right now, just below, because we are officially a month away from our charity stream, we're going to be trying to raise $2,500 for the BC Children's Hospital Foundation. It has all the events, everything like that. If we raise that money, Taylor's going to shave his head bald. So if you saw the last newscast, his hair was crazy. Well, if we hit the goal, his hair will not be crazy because there will be no hair. But there's everything below there. The trivia battle that's happening, the title matches. So there's a good time. All events are planned out. Anything else to shout out, gentlemen?
Did you say No Time to Die review? I heard the
Oh, yeah.
retro.
Oh, yeah.
We got the No Time to Die review dropping. That's super
If you were
exciting.
listening, I did mention No Time to Die. Yeah.
Okay.
Go check out our Facebook. Check out the Halloween poll. do me a favor, do me a solid, and put your votes down. It is the Nun versus the Demogorgon right now.
Boom. There we go. Taylorfield, what do you think about What If, the finale for this season 1? Because we know season 2 is coming. We don't have a date yet, but I imagine probably some point at a similar time. We know lots of episodes are already done. So what do you think about the ending of this season?
I am blown away. It had me absolutely jazz hands, like just going crazy. I couldn't, leading up to this finale, I wasn't able to put like a solid bead on what was going to happen. I really wasn't sure what was going to unfold, and left, right, and center, it was just pulling all these different angles into the mix, and it was getting me super, super excited. And it didn't disappoint. It just did not disappoint whatsoever. This was like, I can't imagine if this whole episode would have been live action. It would have just been like absolutely like wonderful. Like it would have been just sheer magnificence on screen. And this whole setup, though, of what they were able to do with this show has me excited for future season 2. Has me excited for how it's all going to connect with, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, and Loki season 2, and all that stuff. I just think we're going to get into some good stuff. This just was just incredible.
Kirklin Patzer with the, I don't know what the fuck's in your hair. What's going on there? You got a headband rocking?
I got a headband rocking. Yeah.
Oh, there
I
you
had
go.
to keep the hair. My hair's long now, so I
He
got to
was
keep it on my
sweating too
face when
much
I
from that episode.
moisturize.
I just thought you were a hat guy, so I was surprised to see the headband,
Sometimes past midnight, this is what happens. You get a little headband action.
So what does the headband action think about season finale?
Season finale, yes. I feel very fortunate that I was able to watch the penultimate for the first time leading into this episode. I literally finished it as soon as this episode dropped. So for me, it was like a full hour long finale. So that was amazing. And so if I'm just talking about the finale right now, I absolutely loved it. I think it was, I think it like, it had so much build up to it, especially with that penultimate episode, and I thought it just delivered it and hit it out of the park. I was explaining to Taylor before cast, like there was moments when I felt like it was similar to like when I was watching like Endgame, and like obviously that's probably an exaggeration because it's hard to match that, especially just the ambiance of the theater. It's all live action. You got the big name actors on screen and stuff like that. But honestly, there was moments where I was like on the edge of my seat. I had sweaty palms. I was laughing out loud. Like I thought this was just a really good like finale altogether. Just it had laughs, it had really epic moments, it had emotional beats, and man, it just got me so excited for like moving forward, what they're going to do in future seasons. I hope there's more than like just season 2 as well. I hope they just keep going on this as long as the MCU is around, and I don't see why they wouldn't do that. And yeah, I just thought it was, I thought it was chef's kiss level.
Yeah, I think this show could go on for a very long time. Like, I don't know how expensive it is, but I imagine it's not too much. I imagine lots of these voice actors have like just add-ons with their contracts, like, oh, pay you a little more to spend a couple hours recording some lines. And yeah, they've already said Phase 4, like all in the games playing out the same thing. They've talked about Phase 4 is going to be covered in the next season, but there's still so much ground in the MCU. That's a good thing with being, what, 24, 25, how many films there are, that not only just Phase 4, but I feel like there's just stuff we haven't tackled yet, even in the Phase 1, Phase 2, and Phase 3. So I think, and then they can do sequels, right? Like, I feel like that's what, I guess I'll wait till spoilers. That's what was interesting about this, that they did kind of close off some stories, but there's some stories that they did leave open. I think that's a clear sign, like, oh, you could revisit them, even if it's not next season, it's the one after. And yeah, I thought it was a really good finale. It still is not like my favorite episode, but it did have a huge kind of epic feel. I love the team that we got. It was very kind of random, but it made sense. Except for one, there's one, I'll wait to spoilers. It felt like we are definitely missing an episode. Maybe we are missing that episode. So I really enjoyed it. I think kind of like you hit the nail on the head. It has action, has comedy, has heart, has a big kind of crossover feel, has a big finale, has some fun twists and turns. And yeah, I'm interested to see what they do for a season 2 as far as the finale, because I thought when season 1 before was happening, we wouldn't have got a finale like this where it's a bunch of characters together taking on a threat. So I don't know if season 2 they could just go down that route again. Is there kind of a continuation of it? Is that more just solo? I don't know, but I think the show overall has been a massive success. I'm not sure where I'm going to rank it in the MCU overall yet. I'm going to have to sit on that a little bit, but it might be I think it might be in the top 10. I think it might be up there. I really enjoyed it, and I love when kind of properties do this sort of thing. And I think it was a very, very, very good ending to a great season. So, anything else non-spoilers? Okay, well, no, then we're gonna get into spoilers. So if you haven't seen it, tune out, come back later. If you have, you got nothing to worry about. So we're gonna go first ad break, and then we'll be right back. And we're back. Where did you guys want to start this?
Let's go the ensemble team, the Guardians of the Multiverse, because I thought that. I mean, you brought up in the non-sport section who you thought shouldn't have been on there. Who do you think shouldn't have been on there?
Well, they said that one episode didn't make the cut this year because of COVID, and not that they shouldn't have been on there, but Gamora,
Yeah.
like she did not feel warranted to be there. As far as I think she is. That might be one of the episodes that was cut because there were rumors of a Stark being on Sakaar like a long time, like before the show, a couple months before the show started. It was a long time, like Party Thor leaked and the Natasha and this kind of Mad Max Ultron deal. So that leak. So I imagine there is an episode with him on Sakaar. And luckily, I guess you could do that next year. The main story is probably what it is. It's like Tony. You can tell by his armor. It has all the Sakaar markings and whatnot. So if that is the case, then I go, okay, that's fine. Like I get it. Like it feels weird, but if that's the episode got delayed by COVID, then I 100% get it. If it's not, and it was just, oh, here's random Gamora, it felt like a little off, especially because she had like a bigger role. I also didn't think the voice actress was great for her. I thought she was fine, but there's people like I think her name's like whoever's doing Black Widow, especially near the end of this episode, sound exactly like Scarlett Johansson. Like to a T at times. Where I never got the sense that was Zoe Saldana doing Gamora. So
No, not
I
at
think
all.
she did not fit. I love Killmonger being on the team because I'd have to look. I've not been someone that's been dissecting the trailer, so maybe it's been in one of them, as Bubs may have to tell us. But I feel like I did not see Killmonger in the finale. I knew we had seen Gamora. I knew we'd seen Thor and T'Challa Star-Lord. So a few of these characters we knew were going to be in the final 10. But Killmonger, that was a very nice twist to add in there. So that was really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. It was so funny because I was watching this and I'm like Gamora's in there, especially they're even showing like throwback or like just a scene with her and like Tony.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I must have fell asleep during this episode because I do not remember the Gamora one. And I was totally looking forward to it just from like her being on the poster and everything, her in like the Thanos armor and his weapon. It just got me really, really excited. So I'm happy that you said there actually wasn't an episode this season with her because I didn't miss out on that.
Yeah. The secret 10th episode.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I think her voice was probably one, and I don't want to say it was the worst one because like the voice actress did okay, but it was just obviously not Zoe. So it kind of took me out of it a little bit. So I do agree with you. I think she could have been cut just for the sake of explaining like who she's coming from in her episode. And I honestly, I don't know why they didn't have Captain Marvel on their team. I thought that was a huge missed opportunity. I felt like if the Watcher was going to bring anyone, it would have been her because like she is just such a powerful being. Like you even see her in the penultimate episode, like just slapping around Ultron. Sure,
Yeah, but she lost Ultron, right? So that's why you
but
don't
like
draft her.
put her in but like they all lost. Like they all would have lost Ultron on their own. Like
We don't know.
she actually like tackled him and like took him to the center of the earth. Like why would you not put him in that team?
No, I agree. Taylor said that last week. He said Captain Marvel got like dummied, and I was like, no, like because Taylor didn't like her take him to the core of the planet sort of deal. But I was like, I feel like that's a solid plan. Like, what else are you gonna do with this robot? I just got a kick out of when he did go to Gamora, and he's like, Tony Stark, not you. So like, I like that the creators have said that Tony Stark is like the Kenny of this series because like he either dies or he's not included in the mission or something like that. So I did laugh. I'm like, hey, you? No, it's not gonna be you. And all the game says, yeah, Killmonger was in the circle shot in both first and mid-season trailers. Well, there you go. So that's awesome. But yeah, no, I don't. We watch the trailers for the cast, and I'm kind of okay, done, and I move along. Especially the what if for some reason I want to keep it a little more secret. So that's cool. That's good that it was promoted, I guess, in there. So
yeah, for sure. And like all the other members, I love them in there. You mentioned Killmonger, Thor. I am such a fan of this party Thor. I think he's just like the perfect level of comedy. I also think it helps that he's not just like fat Thor. Like he is Thor. It's just he's like a frat boy Thor.
yeah,
He's got his science tat, and like just his lines are making me laugh. But like he's still capable. Whereas like the Thor that we got in Endgame, he's just like really depressed and like overweight and he just seems kind of useless until like the end fights and stuff like that. So I like that he's like useful, but he's still like the frat Thor. And like I mentioned, like I thought the comedy with him was just excellent. And like I was laughing out loud when he's dropping the Viva Las Vegas. There's even another line when he's just
I've
like
never
yells
heard that
Vegas.
expression before.
Yeah. So like his usage was great, and all the other members was just really, really fun. So I love the Guardians of the Multiverse. Still think you could have had Captain Marvel in there.
And Fracture Wolf is right, where it's just like you can make the argument they did not pick the most powerful characters for all of them. You know, like you could go, like you could probably pluck Thor from Infinity War and like the battle with, like I know he doesn't go for Thanos' head, but still in that moment, it's like Infinity War, he shows up Rocket and Groot. Like that's probably the Thor you want to go get. Yeah, but it's just like, yeah, we don't want to touch it in the main MCU, right? So I get that.
And like you can make the argument that like, well, he's only plucking people from their episodes, which just like it makes it so funny thinking that he took Gamora, right? She just didn't have an episode. Taylor, what about you? What do you think about the Guardians of the Multiverse?
I mean, I love them. This is my new, like, one of my new favorite teams. Like, I just thought it was such a rowdy group of characters. Killmonger, I thought, well, that's definitely skeptical, an iffy pick, but because literally he's just destroying Wakanda, and
super sus.
The Watcher's like, let's get him on the team. He's gonna save.
What about
Thor's line? Decision maker, you know.
Thor's line, because I forget who asked him, but he's like, "Can you trust him?" He's like, "I trust everybody. Like, let's just go on with this." Yeah,
yeah. I love Doctor Strange. I think he's my favorite. Like, I'm just loving him so much more, and I loved everything he did in this episode. I love that he kind of has this redemption arc. I wasn't expecting it whatsoever, and like he's still trapped in his little prism thing, but he's trapped with another one that he's watching and containing. I just think that there's so much opportunity there. Again, Killmonger, if they want to bring him back, here's how they do it. They just did it right there. That's their Killmonger that'll come back. Maybe even in live action if they wanted to years in the future. Who knows?
I don't think for Killmonger, no. I think he's going to come back in the Sacred Timeline that will still have all these memories. I think he is coming back, and I think they're going to want him to have all the memories of like Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa and stuff like that. I think with Wakanda and there being heart-shaped herbs and all this stuff, they'll be away, you know.
Yeah, the whole Gamora thing didn't bother me too much. I thought it was super cool to see it and just see her get taken and thrown in. I think that it's a good segue to just kind of build up some hype. Like, oh, I hope we get to learn more about that storyline and that multiverse world and realm just in the season 2. So I think that's a cool kind of continuation that hopefully we get explained. And then who else do we have? We have Black Widow, which she was super cool, and they tied that story in with YOLO. What's his name? YOLO. What is that guy's name? Johan. The computer dude.
Zola.
That's the
YOLO.
one.
Look, I brought the computer YOLO from World War II.
His little German accent.
Yeah. Always say cool. YOLO when you can.
I feel like was Widow really a part of the team? Because she just kind of like was there when they.
Yeah, she's part of the team.
Okay.
She did stop Ultron, so it's like insta access, I'd say.
Fair enough.
We got there, chat. We got there. Sometimes you guys save us, but me and Kirklin figure it out. Even with Taylor's very loose guesses and whatnot. I didn't really like. I found it strange with Black Widow when they have. I like the whole ending when they're all getting through the door, and she's just like, "Oh, you're sending me back to the universe," and she has this whole monologue with the Watcher of like, "Oh, we're just stories," and he's like, "No, I'm cheering for you all," which is like, "Yeah, kind of, but you're not really cheering. You're still watching." But like, he, I guess, puts her in a universe where she died and she comes back, and at first, and like, I wasn't assuming it was going to be the sacred MCU timeline, but I was like, "Oh, it must be this world," but it looks like it's Avengers 1 era, so I guess he just put her in another multiverse where they've lost Black Widow and she's just going to be there. It's not the sacred timeline. It's so not that I was confused. I was just kind of wondering what they're, especially because she's dead in the MCU. I was like, what are we doing here? And
that timeline that she was put into, I know Captain America was in there. That wasn't the same time. Was that the timeline where all the Avengers died? Wasn't that the one? Because that's where they went to go wake up the captain at the end, right? And
Yeah,
that's where
you're
he was
right.
fighting. So I think
That could
that's the
be it with
one.
Captain. Yeah, no, I think you're right because Captain Marvel was at the end of that one too. So you're right.
Mhm.
So she died by not telling Nick Fury that she would just say Hope's the key instead of being like Hank Pym. He's the one doing all
Mhm.
this. So yeah, you're right. Okay, that makes a bunch more sense. So
Yeah, because they were fighting the Asgardian soldiers too against Loki on the
yeah,
helicarrier.
because I was like,
Yeah.
this feels like a strange choice just to be like, it's like a Gamora thing. Like, here's another multiverse to throw you in. Huzzah. So
Just drops her in a shit universe where Loki's just taking over the earth. And
yeah, he has them all tortured and everything. She's like his wife or something. Like, I don't want any part of this. What else? I was gonna say I really liked the kind of some little back and forth we got between T'Challa and Killmonger. That they're still established that they're
The
cousins and
cousin, yeah.
everything. And T'Challa, he could talk everyone else, and he can talk Thanos now, but he cannot talk Killmonger down. Because the second, I love that the little like tingling of he gets that Ultron helm at the beginning of the episode or near the beginning, and then he just like he's gonna do something bad with it, and then I love when he's just like, you can see your old man, you can see your pops, like he's just trying to pitch them why it's a great idea, and he was looking badass. Like this show already, there's lots of cool toys to happen from these episodes, but Killmonger is like Killmonger Ultron with the stones. Oh yeah, looking real fly.
Absolutely. I like the gold trim and everything. Was it known that T'Challa was going to be in this episode?
I think it was pretty
Yeah,
known.
I
Yeah.
think
Pretty
it
well known.
was
Okay,
because
well,
lots of people
it
were
was a
talking about.
surprise for me. I
Yeah,
felt
lots of people were talking about it was it's his last time ever as Black Panther tonight. So yeah, it was known. And I think that's one where like all the game was saying he saw Killmonger. I did see like T'Challa in that final like hero shot and whatnot. So I think it was
oh,
known he
okay.
was gonna be around, yeah.
Yeah, well, for me, it was a surprise, but it was a pleasant surprise because I thought the last episode with him was the last interpretation of the character. So, I mean, again, it's an emotional thing, but anytime I get more T'Challa with Chadwick Boseman, it was awesome to see, and I really liked his usage. I loved him like saving like the OG Star Lord. That was a fun little moment.
Yeah. Well, and that's it's funny because this is what I was trying to talk about in non-spoilers, but not talk about it was we talked about every episode when it would end on a cliffhanger. It's like, oh, they could potentially come back to this in season two. Majority of them they like sectioned off. Like you had Star Lord, he came and saved Peter Quill from Ego. So I'm so surprised Kurt Russell came and recorded like fucking just two ass lines. I thought for sure he'd be
He
around
probably
more.
made bank though for
He
that.
like called
Paid
on
off
his
his
phone.
house.
He's
Yeah, he's
like
like,
In the
on the
closet like Adam Driver.
yeah, he's like, I need to do Sky High 2 or I'm not doing this. But like he
on
so
the
like
set of Sky High 2. That's what he
yeah,
called
on
him.
the set of Sky High 2 he's voicing Ego. But like so you had that one, you had it was like I don't know, it looked like a funny animation to me of Pepper and Shuri just like running through the halls with like a bunch of guards. They're just like they're looking like Mario Party characters. They're just like but like so you had that. So there were quite a few where the story was like, oh, it's left open, and like Party Thor's obviously was pretty easy. So okay, he's still just fighting Ultron. So it's like I'd have to go, and the chat's always has good ideas, so maybe they know. But I feel like other than zombies episode, and like obviously Doctor Strange we revisited episode 3 by sending Black Widow. Is there any other episode that wasn't revisited? Because I feel like zombies is the only one now that was like left open. I feel like the majority of them were visited in that montage, or by the end of the episode they had gone to and done something with. So like
I
even
feel like
Captain Carter.
zombies was resolved because we got to see what happened with them, right?
No, they're heading to Wakanda and there's a zombie Thanos there. They thought they had won. They're like, oh, we have the key and waiting for the Wakanda as a zombie
Well,
Thanos.
I guess
Yeah,
so.
waiting
I
for
just
Thanos.
took it as like all the zombies were dumped into this world and the planet exploded and nuked.
Maybe, but I think that one could continue. But I'm just saying they didn't revisit that in this episode, though, right?
Yeah.
That's the only one they didn't
Yeah.
really touch upon. So all in the game, just saying terrible things about Kurt Russell. These awful Fast Furious movies. No, he's great, Mr. Nobody's. Kurt Russell's never awful in anything all in the game. He's a true icon. So, but I did like that I like that those stories seem to be closed off. As far as I would have liked more episodes on them because the world was cool, but I like that it almost makes the season feel like a solo piece, and then next year we'll get mostly new stories.
Yeah,
I agree.
absolutely.
Where do you guys want to go next?
I let us off with the team. Where do you guys pick?
Well, I just let us off with my thoughts. Taylor, you go next.
Oh shit. I mean, overall, I'm just gonna dive into probably Doctor Strange again some more. Just him
Oh,
trying
yeah,
to
let's do it.
control like the squid monster coming out, and then him just going full crazy demon like flex, and just Ultron thinking like, oh, like I gotta kill you to kill the others. Like him just putting the armor spells, enchantments on everyone. I love that. The planets are
so good.
being nuked and they're just like protected under the charms. Like this Doctor Strange is just, he was so powerful. I loved his magic he was doing when he created like 1,000 Thor hammers and like created the ball around Ultron. It was just so cool.
Dude, 100%. I absolutely love this version of Doctor Strange. Like, I do like the OG one, and I do like in the Sacred Time, like we do have that OG one, but part of like I still want to see this live action. Just like even like have Benedict like in that role, just like give him like some dark makeup and yeah, just all of the effects of like all of like the dark monsters that he's consumed and he's actually like using their powers. And it was so good. You mentioned like the enchanted armor when he just like I think he like literally like just eats like an explosion that like Ultron goes
He
off, and
does.
it's basically the same power of him just like consuming right like the monsters and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Oh man, he was like I feel like he was like the captain in that team. Like he was just the reason why this succeeded. Even Ultron was like, "Okay, I just got to take out you." Was he pointing like what he was focusing on Doctor Strange, right? I was confused if it was him or Captain
He
Carter.
was, because
I
yeah, he
figured
had
it was him.
spells on everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, I figured it was him because he was so good in that team, and like just seeing all of his buffs, like I just want to have this type of character in like something like Ultimate Alliance, right?
Mhm.
And I just loved how different like same type of like ability usages, but like obviously his abilities are different, like with the tentacles and everything, and like all the dark, like when he shoots out those dragons and they just like engulf
Oh,
him
Thor's
in flames.
reaction to that was
Oh
so good.
man, so good. Yeah, no, I want to see more of this Strange. It looks so good, and like it's not like they killed him off, so obviously he can be back, and I'm
Mhm.
assuming they'll touch upon the whole like prism thing that he's guarding in future seasons or something like that.
I hope
Yeah,
so.
yeah, I think so. I don't know if it will happen. It could happen in Multiverse of Madness, like briefly. I just wonder if that movie's so stacked with other cameos that will happen. But that's a ultimate cameo, right? Is having a cameo as himself as evil Doctor Strange, even though he's not even evil Doctor Strange. He's just he's makes mistakes, Doctor Strange. You know, like he didn't mean for all this bad shit to happen, but it did. I wouldn't say he's redeemed himself. It's not like the Vader thing where it's like you save one planet, and you've been forgiven for all your crimes, but he's working on it, you know. And I will say, all the games said he did not say Kurt Russell is awful, just those movies were awful. So I guess fair, you know. But it is what it is. So no, I really like him. I love when he put all the big spell on everybody to kind of protect them as much. And yeah, he was popping off, and I'm excited to see what we get out of him in No Way Home and Multiverse Madness coming up, because I feel he's gone back and forth in the MCU of being great to being so. So I loved, like I can't say anything more than you guys have on this. Like that episode that he was in was still my favorite. I think he was used well in this, so I'm ready for more of this to be in the movies as well. So
Absolutely. Yeah. Just like you touched upon the multiverse of madness stuff. Just this whole idea, especially in these last two episodes when they're just like going over, I guess the whole series pretty much is multiverse stuff. It just got, honestly, my expectations for Multiverse of Madness is like just increasing, which could be a detriment because like if the movie isn't quite to my expectations, I might not like it. But like just everything that I got in this What If series, I treat it as like an appetizer of what we're going to be getting on the live action, honestly. And like I need it to be really good
careful.
because this was phenomenal. And like yeah, you say careful, but like it's what Marvel gave me, and I got a taste. I'm
That
like,
main course could just
this is
be
fucking
absolute
awesome.
garbage.
It absolutely could be, and I will be talking about it on that review if
Well,
it
I'm
is
not
something
gonna
that's
go that far. I don't think I'm gonna be on Multiverse Madness saying it's absolute fucking garbage. I don't think they're gonna drop the ball like that. But
I'd hope not.
yeah, yeah, it
But you
all
know, just
depends.
the whole what if is just got me so excited for even just like Spider-Man. We're gonna be getting intro into it, and then yeah,
You can always be Ralph Bonered. That's why.
can always be.
In the same year we got What If, the same year we got Ralph Boner. So that's why it's like, oh yeah, I'm excited, but at the same time, yeah, you never know. All the games says, hey, that will must surely have had a caution fairy from Multiverse Madness. Yeah, I think it's kind of one of those worst cast secrets now that she's in there. Like she's been rumored multiple times, even from like I said before when they put out those toys of of What If. All of them were like, oh, T'Challa, Star Lord, Zombie Cap. This one was like Marvel's Captain Carter. So I was like, oh, okay, you got plans for, or we've said before, Haley Atwell's big. There's even like rumors right now, and like who knows, because they're just concept art, so they might not be in. So minor spoilers for Doctor Strange and Madness, so skip a minute if you don't want to hear. But there's been concept art of Ultron bots in the movie. Yeah, so that's the thing where if you look at though, like even if this universe that was, I don't know when, if you can, intercept a multiverse in the middle of something happen, but if some of these Ultron bots are from like the universe that Ultron was just in taking over, that could be very interesting. So I think if Captain Carter is in there, I think the only reason why I back up on the Doctor Strange, evil Doctor Strange being in that is because I don't think you want to have too many what if characters, because you don't want the audience to completely feel like I don't know who that is. You don't want to be like, oh, that's from the show. That's from the show. You go, oh, okay. Like I feel like you kind of get one of those. I do think Captain Carter's one. I think if Chadwick was alive, I think him as T'Challa would have been another one as well, just because I think people would have been killing to see that on screen. Like I feel would have loved to see his version of Star-Lord on screen. So Doctor Strange, I think that version of Doctor Strange is something that you could pull at any point in a Doctor Strange like series or trilogy or franchise. You don't have to do it specifically in Multiverse of Madness, but hey, maybe there's a moment where he needs some help and he needs the power of Doctor Strange and all this stuff, and who knows? Anything's possible.
I can honestly see us getting hints of it even just in Spider-Man. Like, and it might be a bold claim, but like even in that trailer when he's like hitting Spider-Man, like I don't know. That's I feel like it's an evil thing to do.
That it's not our Doctor Strange.
Could be. I don't know. Well, I feel like I feel like I'm leaning more that we'll at least get a hint of it. And I'm not saying he's gonna be like the main villain or anything by any means in that movie, but like maybe just like that movie ends and then we get some dark revelation.
We already got the main villain. That's gonna be Wanda, I think. So
Zombie Wanda.
All the Wandas, every single, just Wanda and Vision fucking everything up.
Why not? Give me all the. Jeez, almost called or Elizabeth Olsen. There you go.
Emily Olsen. Do you guys have anything else specifically as far as notes we kind of touched upon them all? So,
no, I don't think so.
So obviously we're going to do a rankings episode next week, but now we're at that point to rate the entire season. So gentlemen, Tayfield, what are you going to rate What If out of 10 or 5, whatever you want to do? But out of 10, usually we've done, what would you rate this show?
I will give it I mean, it's tricky. For me, there are some episodes that are solid 10s, and there's some episodes that were cool, but like they weren't like 100% for me. And I feel like for that reason I would probably go like a 9.5, because I as a collective whole, this show was just absolutely fantastic. I loved everything about it in a cohesive storyline and what it culminated, what it concluded with. And that being said, there's just a couple episodes in between that are like, oh, they were really good, but they weren't necessarily my cup of tea that kept me like awake at night like this episode did. So I'll give it a 9.5, and I stand by that proudly. And if honestly, it probably will go up on doing another rewatch, because this whole series has just been absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, I kind of would be in the ballpark too of that. I think I'll say 9 for now, with possibly going up. I'm looking at my MC ranking list right now. It's close. I don't know if it's in the top 10. It's like right at 10, and it's tough because like there's also like WandaVision that I think about, like, do I like this more than WandaVision? And it's tough because there are those episodes, like, to be honest, I really like her as a character, but the very first episode of Captain Carter, it's cool, but it's not anything that special. Like, to me, that's like a 6 out of 10 as far as they didn't get that creative. They just literally swapped her and and stuff like that. I'm trying to think of like other ones that I was lesser on. Like, I liked Party Thor enough, but I didn't love it. But then there's stuff like I've said before, that Doctor Strange episode is just phenomenal. So I think it might be my top 10 in the MCU. If not, it's like right on the edge. But yeah, I'll go with a 9 out of 10. I think it was great. And like I said, if I was just grading one episode as far as Doctor Strange or a few others, definitely super high. But yeah, a 9 is where I sit. What about you, Kirklin?
Ooh, I feel like I'll give it somewhere in the middle, maybe do like a 9.2, 9.3, just to be a little different. Because I really, really love this, like the whole series, because of the finale. I like like you guys mentioned, like I really love individual episodes, whether it's the zombies episode or the like even just the lot, like the penultimate episode, that one was phenomenal. Doctor Strange one, like T'Challa. But I think like you mentioned, Travis, like the Captain Carter episode, it did kind of hurt it because it was just so samesies. But also, I think the placement of the episode was good because it was the first
Yeah.
episode, and then every episode after that, it was kind of ramping up to the finale. And I'm still glad that I got Captain Carter in the first episode because I really wanted to see her. We knew she was coming. She was like the biggest person on the poster. And I thought the usage of her in episode 1 was good, and I thought it just ramped up from there. And the finale, like I've just been melting over. It's a phenomenal finale, and I think it delivered on what I was wanting. I think it even surpassed it, honestly, because I was really looking forward to this. Just the whole idea is so interesting. Love that it was animated. But at the same time, there was a couple of voice acting moments that kind of took me out of it a bit. There was a couple episodes
Especially
where I
that
felt like
Captain Carter episode. That was like
yeah,
they were very, and I will shout like All in Game says a good point where the episode had to happen to help the wider general audience with the concept.
true.
I agree to a point. I also agree that I feel there's a lot of people on my timeline that are catching up with the show and they saw the Captain Carter episode and were like, meh, and they didn't think to really give it much of a thought. And then later on, like, to be honest, it feels like zombies is what really got people back on board because they kind of heard about it and went, oh, they really did that. Like I said, I feel like how graphic they got with that episode really surprised people. So I think it, of course, it did definitely help, but I think you could have done like still half like the way that I'm trying to think what one episode really did it well where they showed majority of the movie and then they like went forward. I can't remember which one. Shit. I don't know if it I don't know if it was I'm trying to think. We had T'Challa and then we had the Black Widow.
What if the world lost its mightiest heroes? Probably not that one.
No, probably not. But there is one of them just for the most part showed, okay, they did everything and now we're on to new adventures. I think you could have had a little bit half and half. I think the fact that it just went so carbon cop with Captain Carter was at first people were like, oh, it's just every episode's going to be like this, where it's just a tiny bit different. And really, that was the only one that was like that to that extent. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Well, we've done it. We will be back November 24th for Hawkeye, and that's going to be interesting because I'm not sure. I think it's only 6 episodes, so obviously that'll be a bit different. We'll be back. That's going to be lots of fun. Who knows what these rumors are of certain characters being in there, but I think the show in general is going to be good. So we'll have Hawkeye, and then after that we'll have Boba. So we'll have a nice little break here, and then we'll be back in the thick of it. So you guys excited for Hawkeye?
Absolutely. Got to get some more Yelena on screen. Super excited for that. Super excited for Clint. Super excited for Haley Steinfeld. So yeah.
Kingpin, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Anything to say?
Couple arrows, couple bows. I'm there.
I love that that's what gets you. None of the characters, none of like the Marvel stuff, just bows and arrows, man. I'm in. Robin Hood.
Thank you for Extra Wolf. But yeah, when you hear from us next, we promise you it'll not be boring.
Goodbye.